can't stay in your comfort zone.
Stepping out of our comfort zone.
Even if it feels uncomfortable, that can sometimes be right.
What's up, Believe Nation? It's Evan. My one word is believe, and I believe in you. I believe you have Michael Jordan level talent at something, and I want you to find it, embrace it, and leverage it to make a huge impact on the world. Now, I started the One Rule series because I watch a lot of top 10s. We make a lot of content, and some of the rules are repeated consistently. And so the aim of this series is to take those rules that are repeated the most consistently and bring them to you in a single video. So today we're going to learn how you can step outside your comfort zone. Enjoy.
If I had to rewind the clock 10 years, I would have insisted by people that are close to me that please push me into very unsafe projects, at least every other one. I think it's professionally responsible to not continue to remake the same film over and over again. You know, what's tonight? Turkey TV dinner, turkey TV dinner.
Any type of danger, right, gives you this flight or fight response. So train. Starts with training. Jiu-jitsu, boxing, Muay Thai, wrestling, shooting, competing, right? You get used to those butterflies. When you compete, you get those butterflies and you get used to them. And so train and get used to seeing how that reaction, what that adrenaline feels like, and also get used to understanding what the superior action is, right? Fight or flight. Because sometimes flight is the correct response. Sometimes fight is the correct response. But what you want to do is you want to be able to assess and dictate which response you're going to give and not just do whatever your instinct tells you, because sometimes your instinct might be wrong. And so again, I don't know what the situation where you're going into, but whatever it is, because people get the fight or flight response to everyday things too, like public speaking, right?
Oh yeah.
Rock climbing. And that's why I say, do these things, train in them. So public speaking, rock climbing, if you want to get good at rock climbing, you want to get over that fight or flight response when you get out, go rock climbing. You'll get used to it. You scared of heights, go start parachuting. You'll get used to it. You're scared of the water, get worked up and go through swimming and then become scuba certified. Just the things that you're not comfortable with, get comfortable with being uncomfortable. And while you're doing them too, while you're doing them, pay attention. You got to detach a little bit when you're training, detach a little bit and see what is going on in your mindset. See what red flags that you can see, what things will make you aware of the fact that your nerves or your adrenaline and you're feeling yourself clenching your fist. Okay, so I'm clenching my fist. Be aware of it so that you can change it, so you can adjust it. And put yourself into these scenarios and escalate them so they get harder and harder and harder and worse and worse and worse until you start to get control of these things.
It looks like you always go out of your comfort zone, right? Coming onto an island that was completely deserted, no fresh water, you didn't even have the money to buy it, and now you're sleeping on a tent on the beach trying to figure out how to get fresh water here. You do that often. You did it with the airline.
I was just somebody that experienced the bad experience of traveling on airlines. I was actually trying to get to the BVI, the British Virgin Islands, one day from Puerto Rico, and the same lovely lady was waiting for me, and I'd been away for 3 weeks, and American Airlines bumped the flight, and so I went to the back of the airport. I hired a plane, I hired a blackboard, I wrote Virgin Airlines one way, $29 to the BVI, went around all the people who'd been bumped, and I filled my first plane, and that got me thinking, that airlines do bump people. They don't care about you or me, particularly in the air, and so I then rang up Boeing and said, do you have any second-hand 747s?
Okay, it was literally that. You just sat in the airport and said, I'm starting an airline right now because I'm frustrated.
Exactly. And I think most of the best entrepreneurial ideas come out of frustration. I think, if you're frustrated about something, the best way of sorting it out is get out and do it, and you've got yourself a business.
Do something new. You know, can't stay in your comfort zone. That's what we all do. We get to a certain age, we all stay in our comfort zone with our recliners, watching television day in and day out. And when you get to a certain age, I'm going to be 70 at the end of the year, where I sit around watching television for the rest of my life because I've done it all, sitting on my laurel wreath. It's not worth it. I mean, life's so short. There's such glorious images in the world and such horror as well that I want to see it all. And so I've moved out of my comfort zone. It's essential for me. Otherwise, I may as well die. So I've done it. I've broken every rule in the book, and not out of malice or any telling anyone that I'll show you. I did it to show myself. I've shown myself. I looked in the mirror, I thought, I'll show you one day. And I've done something completely new. I wrote the music, and I feel limitless.
I love to swim so much that as an adult, I swim with a coach. And one day my coach had me do a drill where I had to swim to one end of a 25-meter pool without taking a breath. And every single time I failed, I had to start over. And I failed a lot. By the end, I got it, but I got out of the pool, I was exasperated and tired and annoyed. And I said, why are we doing breath-holding exercises? And my coach looked at me and he said, Melody, that was not a breath-holding exercise. That drill was to make you comfortable being uncomfortable, because that's how most of us spend our days. If we can learn to deal with our discomfort and just relax into it, we'll have a better life.
Starting with Lincoln Lawyer was a time when I said I wanted to recalibrate my relationship with my career. I remember saying that. I remember thinking I'm enjoying it. I love what it's given me. I like going to work. I like the things I've been doing. But everything I started reading, I felt like, it's another version of something I've done, or I feel like I could do it next week. And I remember going, well, wait a minute, before you get mad at thinking you could do something next week, that's a valid feeling. Don't just say no to something because you feel like you can naturally do it. But then I said, okay, fair. I'll shake with you on that, McConaughey, but let me find something that I don't know what to do with that next week or the week after. Let me find something that I really like, but I'm going, I'm not sure. That scares me, that shakes my floor. And I was fortunate enough, because that Schedule F check I got in Angels in the Outfield, to know that my rent was paid. I was fortunate enough to know my kids were going to eat. I was just shepherding my first son into the world. So I had that to take care of my time. And I said, it's a great time to go into the shadows and be a father and sit back and see if something turns you on from the inside or if something finds you, if you're the target that can draw the air. But we're okay. Rent's paid, kids are going to eat, we can take some time off. I know he was thinking about I'm done, but I didn't know how long the dry spell was going to go. So I said no to some of the things that were similar to what I had been doing before. And it took a while. I had to sit down with my agent and say, hey, I'm really going to do this, and I need your help with my commitment to this, because after 8 months, if the same thing comes in with a big $10 million paycheck, it starts to read better and funnier. I promise you, the same words. All of a sudden, I think this thing's great. I think I can find an angle. No, I can make it a different experience for me. So I said, I'm going to need your help bunkering down here and saying no to some things. And so I'm going to need you to be a gatekeeper, one, to keep them from getting to me, two, but let's be real clear. I'm looking for some different things to do. He handled that. My wife, we said we don't know how long it's going to be dry. Then after they quit sending those, then it did get dry. Then nothing came for about a year. Wow. There was nothing. And I didn't have any sleepless nights or, oh my gosh. I was like, no, I'll find something. I'll write. I was writing a lot. I was turning myself on creatively. And as I said, I had my first son to shepherd into the world. And then the funny thing happened, the beautiful thing happened, that somehow the target drew the arrow. And I think, my opinion is, I became a new good idea by removing myself. I became, William Friedkin calls for the first time, Steven Soderbergh calls for the first time. Somehow in that 2 years, I became a fresh new idea that I don't think I was 2-3 years prior. How that works, I'm not sure, because I didn't send a memo out. But it did happen.
I'm a perfectionist. If my B-roll doesn't look a certain way, there's a slight camera shake in just, if I'm shooting in 120 and it's moving in close and then, it just kind of goes out. It's garbage, delete it. I don't even want to see it. And even still, at the end of my videos, I'm pretty much always unhappy with my videos. It's just like, I don't know, I just don't like my own stuff. And it's because I'm so hard on myself and such a perfectionist. So it's kind of like liberating, also challenging doing a video like this where it's like, I'm not gonna have any B-roll in it. Like there's no music I can loop for like 30 minutes without wanting to go crazy. So like I might not even put music in this video, and just thinking about that stresses me out. It gives me anxiety. Yeah. But I think it's good to like do things that make you feel so uncomfortable. I think that means you're growing. That means as a creative person, you are expanding that toolkit that you have. And I think the bigger that toolkit is, the more valuable it is because you just understand everything better. So this in and of itself is kind of like us stepping out of our comfort zone and doing something that is completely outside the realm of everything we've done before as far as YouTube goes.
Yeah.
I remember Ian McKellen saying to me, just because it feels uncomfortable doesn't mean it's not good. And I remember on doing the first X-Men movie, I came in late, I felt a bit behind the 8 ball. I started shooting 4 weeks into filming because I was replacing the guy who was playing the role. So I came in feeling a bit behind the 8 ball, and there was a rhythm going, and I just felt a bit uncomfortable. And I remember him giving me that advice. He goes, your stuff is good. And even if it feels uncomfortable, that can sometimes be right. I think so often, not only on film, but in life, we so want to feel comfortable, but that doesn't always bring the best results. If I look back, I think some of my more successful things, in my point of view, have been the things I've been most nervous about and probably most unsure when I began. There's something about jumping off that cliff, which means you end up going for broke and probably end up taking a few more risks, if you know what I mean.
You know, most people want certain things in life: a nice home, a comfortable bank account, a rewarding career, vibrant health, and loving relationships. They wish that life was better, or that they could have more, or that things were somehow different. They might even know the steps they need to take to get there, but something's stopping them. Now, what keeps people stuck in their comfort zone, driving with the brakes on? Well, I'll tell you. It's the negative images you have about yourself or the effects of toxic experiences that you haven't processed yet. Perhaps this describes you, staying in a comfort zone entirely of your own making, maintaining flawed beliefs about yourself or holding on to guilt and self-doubt. When you try to achieve your life goals, these negative images and pre-programmed comfort zones that you find yourself stuck in always seem to cancel out your good intentions, no matter how hard you try. So what if, instead of using willpower as the engine to power your success, you simply release the brakes by letting go of your limiting beliefs and changing the images you hold about yourself? You see, unfortunately, most people just continue to live in their same old comfort zone and then complain about their experience rather than doing something about it. And by continually complaining about, thinking about, and writing about the way things are, you're continually reinforcing those same neural pathways in your brain that got you to where you are today and are going to keep you stuck there if you don't change them. So to change this cycle, you've got to focus instead on thinking, talking, and writing about the reality you want to create. You've got to flood your unconscious with thoughts and images of your desired new reality. And one way to do this, one way to stretch your comfort zone, is to bombard your subconscious and unconscious minds with new thoughts and images of what you want. Images of a bigger bank account, a trim, healthy body, exciting work, interesting friends, and memorable experiences.
So we have to end with my favorite movie of the year, Wild. Let's talk about The Pack, because from what I understand, that was quite a heavy, like you were going for realism there with that backpack.
Well, I was not.
Oh.
I was going for movie fake
styrofoam peanuts.
Yes, some dry cleaner, stuff and newspaper stuffed in there. And then Cheryl was sitting on set. Cheryl's there every single day, and she leaned over to Jean-Marc and she's like, "The pack doesn't look heavy enough." And so he came over to me. He's like, "What's in the pack?" He's French Canadian, and I said, "Newspaper or something, I don't know." And he said, "Okay, we need the other backpack. We need the one that's heavy with all the equipment in it." And I was like, "Yeah, but I have to walk all day with this." on my back. And he doesn't cut. He just shoots digital. So there's no putting it down. There's no breaks. There's no sitting down. There's no going to the bathroom. Like, it was bananas. And there's no other actors to cut to.
Right.
You know, when the other actor, then you can just kind of relax a little bit or take off the pack and stretch a little bit. No, there was nothing. There was literally the front of me and the back of me. So, and he just walked away and he was like, okay, action. And that was it for the rest of the movie. He really challenged me, and I'm so appreciative of everything he pushed me to do. He was like, I want you to wear no makeup. And I was like, well, but just like a little eyeliner. And he's like, no makeup. None. I love your face. I just want to see this woman stripped of everything. I want to feel like she's lost everything. And I was like, okay, but that's going to be awful. It's going to look awful. And he made me be brave, and he made me do it. And I'm so appreciative to him pushing me outside my comfort zone, and because I feel like you would have seen it, and it would have been fake. And after a while, it started to feel like, you know, I was in a documentary about Cheryl Strayed's life, because I couldn't stop.
Now I've got a really special bonus clip with Robin Sharma on how to be comfortable in the unknown. But before that, I want to know, what did you learn from this video? What was the single most important lesson? How are you going to apply this to your business or life? How are you going to now step in to the uncomfort, to the unknown? I want to hear from you. I want to know what you're going to do. Leave it down in the comments below. When you write it down, you're much more likely to actually take action on it. So leave it in the comments. Thank you guys so much for watching. I believe in you. I hope you continue to believe in yourself and whatever your one word is. Much love. I'll see you soon, and enjoy the bonus clip.
One of my brain tattoos that I've become very well known for is, no one will believe in you until you believe in you. And so good people often become seduced by the chatter of their loudest fears. And what I mean by that is, we come up with a great idea. Let's say it's to start a project that will allow you to lead your field. Let's say it's an idea for a new product that will allow you to grow a new company. Let's say you come up with an idea for a new painting if you are an artist. Let's say it's an idea that will allow you to take your fitness and your wellness and your longevity to a whole new level of wow. And pretty shortly after you come up with the idea, your ego starts screaming. Because we are good in our comfort zones, but the moment we start to go blue ocean around our next level of mastery, our fears come up because we're going out into the unknown. It's human. You know, if you were to look at the psychobiology of it and you were to study the pure biology of it, there's a term called homeostasis. Human beings are hardwired for a steady state. And that kept us alive. So literally, our heart beats around the same amount, you know, the 72 beats per minute, and our blood pressure is within a small bandwidth, and that allows us to survive. But what happens is, when we come up with a new idea and when we see a new opportunity and we start to leave our comfort zones into the zone of the unknown where greatness lives, we get scared. And the true heroes and the true titans and the true masters, those people are not fearless. Those are people who have just practiced walking into their fear and living on the razor's edge consistently to the point where they're comfortable amid their discomfort. And that's the great opportunity for you, not to avoid fear, but to be comfortable in the unknown, to be comfortable when you're terrified. And that really is what the great artists, the great entrepreneurs, the great titans, and the great masters are very good on doing. So the first reason good people lose is their faith is not as strong as their fear. Or to put it a bit more elegantly, their fears are larger than their faith. And so to be tactical for you, how do you build more faith? Well, you do what you're frightened to do. And it's a practice. You know, a great athlete practices every morning. And a great producer practices walking into their fears every single day. And what I'm encouraging you to do is every single day do one thing that causes your palms to sweat. Every single day start training your brain to hunt for opportunities to step into that unknown where possibility lives. And if you keep on doing it, you're literally going to build some new neurological hardwiring, a new pathway in your brain where it becomes easier. It Because as you know so well, all change is hard at first and it's messy in the middle and it's beautiful at the end.
So let me give you the one word secret to happiness. One word. This is all you need to be happy.
The most important word ever.
If you had to think of one word that's most important to you or that sums you up or that would be kind of like a little beacon.
Hey Believe Nation, if you want to know what the most important one word is for Tony Robbins, Gary Vaynerchuk, Oprah Winfrey, will.i.am, and Howard Schultz, I have a very special secret video for you. Check the description for details.